The year is 1972. The world watches, holding its breath, as two superpowers engage in a deadly game of chess. The Cold War, a chilling symphony of espionage and propaganda, has the United States and the Soviet Union locked in a stalemate. The US government embarks on a highly classified endeavor, delving into parapsychology, the study of paranormal phenomena. Their research, hidden from the public eye, would come to be known as Project Stargate. The Cold War was a battle for technological and ideological supremacy. Both the US and the Soviet Union poured resources into weapons, space, and espionage. Fear of falling behind fueled a search for any advantage. Rumors circulated about the Soviet Union's interest in psychic research. Reports suggested the Soviets were training psychic spies, individuals with abilities to gather intelligence or influence minds. The implications of a Soviet breakthrough were significant. The US government responded to the potential threat. Understanding and weaponizing psychic phenomena became a national security matter. This marked a new arms race, exploring the human mind's potential. Psychic abilities moved from science fiction to Cold War espionage. The US launched a top-secret program to investigate psychic phenomena. This program, known as Project Stargate, operated under secrecy. Project Stargate emerged in the early 1970s as a clandestine initiative within the US intelligence community. Tasked with exploring psychic phenomena for espionage, the project brought together scientists, analysts, and individuals with extraordinary abilities. SRI's parapsychology research, funded by the CIA, investigated telepathy, clairvoyance, and precognition. The DIA recognized the strategic value of psychic espionage and became a primary funder. Remote viewers underwent rigorous training to hone their skills for intelligence gathering. Project Stargate's research focused on remote viewing and psychokinesis. Remote viewing aimed to perceive distant information using the mind, useful for intelligence gathering. Psychic spies could gather intelligence from afar, accessing classified information securely. Psychokinesis involved influencing physical objects with the mind. Experiments tested the limits of human perception and influence. The research aimed to see if the mind could transcend space and time, aiding Cold War espionage. Beyond the Iron Curtain, the specter of the Soviet Union loomed large over Project Stargate. Fueled by reports of Soviet psychic research programs, the US intelligence community viewed the pursuit of psychic espionage as a matter of national security, a race to unlock the mind's potential before their Cold War adversary. Intelligence reports, some more credible than others, suggested that the Soviets had invested heavily in parapsychology research, establishing dedicated laboratories and recruiting individuals claiming to possess extraordinary abilities. These reports, often shrouded in exaggeration and fueled by Cold War paranoia, nonetheless heightened the sense of urgency surrounding Project Stargate. Among the most intriguing and unsettling reports were those concerning a purported Soviet psychic known as Nina Kulagina. Kulagina, a housewife from Leningrad, gained notoriety in the 1960s for her alleged ability to move objects with her mind. While her demonstrations sparked skepticism and debate among scientists, they nonetheless fueled concerns within the U.S. intelligence community about the potential for Soviet breakthroughs in psychokinesis. The fear of falling behind in this psychic arms race drove Project Stargate researchers to push the boundaries of their investigations, seeking to replicate and understand any potential Soviet advances in psychic espionage. The battle for global dominance, it seemed, extended beyond the realm of conventional warfare and into the uncharted territories of the human mind. The dawn of espionage. The Cold War, a term coined by journalist Walter Lippmann, perfectly encapsulated the icy standoff between the United States and the Soviet Union. It was a war fought not on battlefields with tanks and troops, but in the shadows where information was the most valuable weapon. Espionage, the art of spying, became a crucial aspect of this conflict, with both superpowers investing heavily in gathering intelligence on each other. The US and the Soviet Union established vast intelligence networks, infiltrating each other's governments, military and scientific institutions. They recruited spies, planted listening devices, and intercepted communications, all in a desperate bid to stay one step ahead. The stakes were incredibly high, as any advantage gained could tip the balance of power and potentially avert a devastating nuclear war. This clandestine struggle for information extended beyond traditional espionage methods. Both superpowers explored unconventional means of intelligence gathering, delving into the realms of cutting-edge technology and even the fringes of scientific understanding. The development of spy satellites, code-breaking computers, and advanced surveillance techniques became paramount in this invisible war. As the Cold War intensified, so too did the search for new and innovative ways to penetrate the enemy's defenses. The possibility of harnessing psychic abilities, however far-fetched it seemed, emerged as a tantalizing prospect, one that could potentially revolutionize the world of espionage. The race for intelligence. The quest for intelligence during the Cold War was relentless, driven by a constant fear of being caught off guard. Both the United States and the Soviet Union poured immense resources into expanding their intelligence gathering capabilities, seeking any advantage in this high-stakes game of cat and mouse. The development of new technologies played a crucial role in this intelligence race. The successful launch of Sputnik, the Soviet Union's first artificial satellite, in 1957 sent shockwaves through the United States, igniting the space race and highlighting the potential of space-based surveillance. Both superpowers rushed to develop more sophisticated satellites, equipped with high-resolution cameras capable of monitoring military movements and detecting missile launches from orbit. Alongside the technological advancements, both sides invested heavily in human intelligence, recruiting and training spies to infiltrate each other's governments and military institutions. These individuals, often operating under deep cover, risk their lives to gather sensitive information and transmit it back to their handlers, providing valuable insights into the enemy's intentions and capabilities. The pressure to stay ahead in this intelligence war was immense, fostering a climate of paranoia and suspicion. Every technological breakthrough, every successful espionage operation only served to heighten the stakes, fueling a relentless cycle of innovation and counterintelligence. Rumors of Soviet interest in psychic phenomena surfaced in the 1950s, adding intrigue to the Cold War. Reports from defectors and intelligence intercepts fueled these rumors. Andrea Puharish, a former journalist, brought Soviet parapsychology to U.S. attention. Puharish claimed to witness Soviet psychic abilities firsthand. He argued the Soviets were weaponizing psychic phenomena, posing a threat to U.S. security. Despite skepticism, the fear of Soviet advancements in this field was alarming. Concerns about psychic espionage influenced U.S. government actions. The U.S. intelligence community began clandestine research into psychic phenomena. The Soviet Union's interest in parapsychology, while shrouded in secrecy, was not entirely unfounded. Soviet scientists, like their counterparts in the West, had long been fascinated by the mysteries of the human mind, and the potential of psychic phenomena held a particular allure during the ideologically charged atmosphere of the Cold War. While official Soviet doctrine rejected the existence of supernatural phenomena, viewing it as incompatible with Marxist-Leninist materialism, a clandestine interest in parapsychology persisted within certain circles of the Soviet government and scientific establishment. Some Soviet scientists argued that psychic abilities, rather than being supernatural, were simply unexplored capabilities of the human brain, potentially explainable through advanced neurology or biophysics. This clandestine research, often conducted under the guise of more conventional scientific disciplines, explored a range of psychic phenomena, including telepathy, clairvoyance, and psychokinesis. Soviet scientists conducted experiments, often using volunteers from the military or intelligence services, to assess the validity of these purported abilities and explore their potential applications for intelligence gathering, communication, or even influencing enemy troops. While the true extent of Soviet parapsychology research remains a subject of debate, the U.S. intelligence community took these reports seriously, viewing them as a potential threat to national security. The possibility that the Soviets might be making breakthroughs in psychic warfare, however far-fetched it seemed, fueled a sense of urgency within the U.S. government to accelerate its own research in this unconventional field. The United States' interest in psychic phenomena predated the Cold War. Project Blue Book, from 1952 to 1969, investigated UFOs. It sparked interest in psychic experiences and sensory data misinterpretations. The project fueled public fascination with the paranormal. Cold War tensions shifted focus to psychic phenomena for intelligence purposes. In the early 1970s, amidst Cold War tensions, a new classified program emerged, Project Stargate, originating from research at Stanford Research Institute, SRI, in California, funded by the CIA. It explored remote viewing, perceiving distant information used in the mind. Led by physicists Harold Puthoff and Russell Targ, the research intrigued the Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, which provided additional funding. With DIA and CIA support, Project Stargate was established to investigate psychic phenomena for intelligence and military applications. The program assembled scientists, intelligence analysts, and individuals claiming extraordinary abilities to explore the human mind's potential for national security. Project Stargate operated from Fort Meade, Maryland, under strict security. A team of intelligence analysts, scientists, and psychics worked in isolation, overseen by DIA and CIA officers. These officers, from traditional intelligence backgrounds, navigated the world of parapsychology. Scientists from various disciplines designed experiments to test human perception limits. Recruited psychics, including military personnel and civilians, underwent extensive testing and training. Project Stargate became a microcosm of the Cold War, blending skepticism and belief, science and the unknown. Project Stargate attracted a diverse cast, drawn by its mystery and potential for national security. Notable figures included Ingo Swann, a New York artist and self-proclaimed psychic, and Pat Price, a former police officer with claimed remote viewing and psychic dowsing abilities. Swann's early successes in remote viewing experiments helped solidify the program's credibility. Price's down-to-earth demeanor and unconventional methods made him a valuable asset, reportedly aiding in criminal cases and intelligence operations. These individuals, along with other talented psychics, formed the core of Stargate's remote viewing team, shaping its legacy and fueling debate about psychic phenomena. Project Stargate's researchers faced the challenge of applying scientific methodologies to a field shrouded in mystery. They devised protocols to eliminate bias and produce statistically analyzable results. One setup involved isolating the receiver in a soundproof room while a sender focused on a randomly selected target. The receiver described their impressions, which were compared to the actual targets by independent judges. This blend of scientific rigor and unconventional subject matter characterized much of Project Stargate's research. Researchers remained cautiously skeptical, constantly refining methods and subjecting findings to critical scrutiny. Despite challenges, Project Stargate's early years saw intriguing successes and anecdotes. One compelling success involved remote viewer Pat Price describing a Soviet facility in Kazakhstan, matching classified intelligence. Another striking anecdote involved Ingo Swann remotely viewing Jupiter and describing its ring system, later confirmed by Voyager 1. These early successes generated excitement within Project Stargate and its supporters, providing glimpses into the potential of psychic phenomena for intelligence gathering. While early successes generated excitement, doubts lingered over the program's findings. Critics raised concerns about experimenter bias and the difficulty of replicating results. Some successes were attributed to lucky guesses or unconscious cues from experimenters. The lack of a clear theoretical framework and difficulty reconciling psychic phenomena with current scientific understanding fueled skepticism. The secrecy surrounding Project Stargate fostered mistrust and suspicion. Compartmentalization of information created an environment where researchers worked in isolation. The lack of transparency hindered external scrutiny and peer review, essential for scientific progress. The secrecy fueled skepticism among mainstream scientists, making it difficult for the program to gain legitimacy. Rumors and speculation flourished, undermining the program's credibility. Remote viewing captured the intelligence community's imagination. The ability to gather information from anywhere using the mind was both tantalizing and terrifying. Remote viewing involved accessing a deeper level of perception, receiving impressions, feelings, or fragmented images. The process typically involved a sender focusing on a target and a receiver attempting to perceive information. The separation of sender and receiver aimed to eliminate subconscious cues, creating a clean channel of information flow. Developing protocols for remote viewing was a central focus of Project Stargate. Training involved techniques like meditation and guided imagery to induce a state of heightened receptivity. Receivers described impressions of targets introduced by senders, with sessions recorded for analysis. Standardized scoring systems evaluated the accuracy of remote viewing sessions, with independent judges comparing descriptions to potential targets. Section 3, Psychokinesis, the allure of mind over matter. While remote viewing held promise for intelligence gathering, Project Stargate also explored psychokinesis, the ability to influence objects with the mind. Psychokinesis has long captivated the human imagination, fueling myths, legends, and science fiction. For Stargate researchers, it was speculative and controversial. Despite challenges, its allure was undeniable. The possibility of influencing events at a distance, perhaps even disrupting communications networks, held a certain appeal, especially during the Cold War. Stargate's experiments tested if individuals could influence random physical processes. These included the decay of radioactive isotopes, random number sequences, or the movement of objects in sealed containers. Sophisticated equipment and statistical analyses were used. Uri Geller, an Israeli illusionist, claimed to bend spoons with his mind. His demonstrations intrigued some researchers who tested the validity of his claims. Wishful thinking. The debate over evidence, tangible results or wishful thinking. The debate over evidence. The evidence for psychic phenomena, like remote viewing, remains controversial. Proponents cite anecdotal successes and significant lab results. Skeptics argue the evidence is weak, often flawed, and unreliable. The debate over psychic phenomena will likely continue for years. Applications and implications, real-world uses of psychic abilities. Despite the ongoing debate over the scientific validity of psychic phenomena, Project Stargate's proponents argue that the program yielded tangible results and that remote viewing in particular proved to be a valuable tool in certain intelligence gathering operations. While the program's successes remain classified, anecdotal accounts and declassified documents suggest that remote viewing provided information that would have been difficult or impossible to obtain through traditional means. One often cited example involves the use of remote viewing to locate a downed Soviet bomber in the early 1970s. According to declassified reports, a Stargate remote viewer was able to provide surprisingly accurate details about the crash site, including its geographical location and the condition of the wreckage, information that reportedly aided in the recovery of sensitive equipment. In another instance, remote viewing is said to have played a role in tracking the movements of a Soviet submarine during a tense period of the Cold War. A Stargate remote viewer reportedly provided information about the submarine's course and speed, information that, if accurate, could have given U.S. forces a significant tactical advantage. While the details of these and other alleged successes remain shrouded in secrecy, the fact that the intelligence community continued to fund and support Project Stargate for over 2 decades suggests that they saw at least some value in its methods, even if the scientific evidence remained inconclusive. A legacy of unanswered questions, the enduring allure of Stargate. Despite its termination, Project Stargate left an indelible mark on parapsychology and public imagination. The declassified documents provided a tantalizing glimpse into secret research, capturing the attention of many. The enduring fascination with Stargate highlights our curiosity about the unknown and extraordinary human abilities. The Skeptics Chorus. From its inception, Project Stargate faced a chorus of skeptics both within and outside the intelligence community. These doubters questioned the very premise of psychic phenomena, viewing it as a dangerous distraction. They argued there was no credible scientific evidence to support ESP or psychokinesis. Despite decades of research and millions in funding, Stargate failed to produce concrete proof. Psychologist Ray Hyman was one of the most vocal critics, citing confirmation bias and the sheep-goat effect. Critics also pointed to the lack of a plausible mechanism for psychic abilities. They argued that ESP and psychokinesis violated fundamental laws of physics. Flawed methods and elusive proof. Beyond the theoretical objections, skeptics also raise serious concerns about the methodologies employed by Stargate researchers. They argued that the program's experiments were often poorly designed, lacking adequate controls to rule out alternative explanations for the reported results. One common criticism was that Stargate researchers often failed to properly blind the individuals evaluating the remote viewing sessions. If the judges knew which descriptions corresponded to the actual target and which were based on chance or guesswork, their judgments could be unconsciously influenced by this knowledge, leading to an inflated assessment of the program's success rate. Another concern was the potential for sensory leakage, where remote viewers might subconsciously pick up on subtle cues from the environment or the experimenters themselves, such as changes in tone of voice, body language, or even the arrangement of objects in the room. These cues, even if unintentional, could provide enough information to influence the viewer's impressions and create the illusion of genuine psychic ability. Furthermore, critics argued that Stargate researchers often cherry-picked their data, highlighting successful sessions while downplaying or ignoring those that failed to produce positive results. This selective reporting, a violation of scientific objectivity, could create a misleading impression of the program's overall success rate. The problem of replication, a scientific stumbling block. One of the cornerstones of the scientific method is the ability to replicate experimental findings. If a phenomenon is real, it should be possible for other researchers following the same procedures to obtain similar results. However, this principle of replicability proved to be a major stumbling block for Project Stargate. Despite numerous attempts to replicate the program's most compelling findings, both within Stargate itself and by independent researchers, the results were frustratingly inconsistent. Some remote viewers, like Pat Price and Ingo Swann, showed flashes of seemingly remarkable abilities in certain sessions, but their performance often fluctuated, and attempts to replicate their successes under more controlled conditions rarely yielded statistically significant results. This lack of replicability fueled skepticism about the validity of Stargate's findings. If psychic abilities were real, why were they so difficult to demonstrate reliably? Why did the results seem to depend so heavily on the specific individuals involved, the experimental conditions, and even seemingly insignificant factors like the time of day or the weather? The inability to consistently replicate the program's most intriguing findings cast a long shadow over its legacy, making it difficult to definitively conclude whether the report's successes were due to genuine psychic phenomena or simply a combination of chance, wishful thinking, and methodological flaws. The subjectivity factor, the challenge of measuring the immeasurable. Another fundamental challenge facing Project Stargate was the inherent subjectivity of the phenomena it sought to study. Unlike traditional scientific disciplines that deal with readily measurable quantities like mass, temperature, or electrical charge, psychic phenomena are often described as subtle, fleeting, and deeply personal experiences. How do you objectively measure a feeling, an intuition, or a mental image that arises spontaneously and defies easy categorization? The very act of attempting to quantify and analyze these subjective experiences through standardized protocols and scoring systems risks stripping them of their essential nature, reducing them to a set of data points that may not accurately reflect the complexity of the phenomena at play. Furthermore, the subjective nature of psychic experiences makes it difficult to rule out the influence of psychological factors like belief, expectation, and suggestion. If a remote viewer believes they are receiving genuine psychic information, or if the experimenters subtly convey their expectations, this belief can influence their perceptions and lead to self-fulfilling prophecies. The challenge of disentangling genuine psychic abilities from the complex interplay of psychological factors proved to be a formidable obstacle for Stargate researchers, one that ultimately contributed to the program's inability to produce conclusive evidence that satisfied the rigorous standards of the scientific community. The burden of proof, extraordinary claims, and the absence of evidence. In science, the burden of proof lies with those making the claim. Extraordinary claims, such as the existence of psychic phenomena, require extraordinary evidence. However, despite decades of research and millions of dollars in funding, Project Stargate ultimately failed to produce the kind of overwhelming, irrefutable evidence that would convince the majority of the scientific community. While the program's proponents pointed to anecdotal accounts of successful applications of remote viewing, intriguing laboratory findings, and the sheer improbability of some of their results being due to chance alone, the skeptics remained unconvinced. They argued that the absence of a plausible mechanism, the lack of replicability, and the inherent subjectivity of the phenomena under investigation cast serious doubt on the validity of Stargate's claims. The debate over the existence of psychic phenomena, fueled in part by the legacy of Project Stargate, is likely to continue for many years to come. The absence of definitive proof does not necessarily disprove the existence of these abilities, but it does highlight the extraordinary difficulty of studying such elusive and controversial phenomena using the tools of science. Stargate's demise, the end of an era. By the mid-1990s, Project Stargate had begun to fade from prominence. The end of the Cold War, coupled with the program's ongoing inability to produce conclusive evidence of psychic phenomena, led to a gradual decline in funding and support. In 1995, the CIA commissioned a formal evaluation of Stargate's research by the American Institutes for Research. The AIR report ultimately concluded that there was insufficient evidence to support the existence of remote viewing or any other psychic phenomena. Based in part on the AIR report's findings, the CIA decided to terminate Project Stargate in 1995. The program's remaining resources were transferred to other intelligence gathering initiatives, and its once classified documents were eventually released to the public. The curtain closes Stargate's final act. By the early 1990s, the geopolitical landscape had undergone a seismic shift The Berlin Wall had fallen, the Soviet Union had dissolved, and the Cold War was a relic of the past. The need for unconventional intelligence gathering methods had diminished considerably. Within the corridors of power, a new pragmatism prevailed. The intelligence community faced budget cuts and shifting priorities. Project Stargate struggled to justify its continued existence. The program faced increased scrutiny from both within and outside the intelligence community. Congress demanded evidence that Stargate's research justified its funding. Skeptics questioned the validity and ethics of the program's findings. The writing was on the wall for Project Stargate. A perfect storm led to the program's demise. The curtain was closing on an era relegating psychic espionage to the history books. A controversial verdict, deciphering the AIR report. In 1995, the CIA commissioned the American Institutes for Research to evaluate Project Stargate. The AIR report delivered a damning verdict, stating no scientifically corroborated evidence for remote viewing. It criticized methodological flaws and lack of proper controls in the experiments. The report highlighted issues like lack of blinding and potential sensory leakage. Echoes of doubt, lingering questions, and unresolved issues. The AR report's conclusions influenced the decision to terminate Project Stargate, but did little to quell the debate over psychic phenomena. Proponents argued the report was flawed and dismissive of significant evidence. They pointed out the report focused on controlled artificial conditions, ignoring successful real-world applications of remote viewing. The improbability of some results being due to chance was not addressed. The debate highlights the difficulty of studying ESP, the price of knowledge in the shadows. Project Stargate operated in the shadows. Secrecy hindered its acceptance in the scientific community. Rumors and speculation flourished. Researchers struggled to engage with peers. Section 5. A paradigm shift, the changing landscape of parapsychology. The termination of Project Stargate in 1995 marked a turning point. The program's demise led to a decline in government funding for psychic research. Parapsychology found itself increasingly relegated to the fringes of academia. However, the story did not end with Stargate. A dedicated group of scientists continue to explore the mysteries of the human mind. There is a growing interest in consciousness-based phenomena using neuroscience and quantum physics. The field is becoming increasingly integrated with mainstream science. Section 6. Beyond Stargate, the future of psychic research. As we move further into the 21st century, the questions about consciousness and psychic phenomena remain relevant. The search for answers continues, driven by scientific curiosity and the desire to understand the human mind. The future of psychic research is shaped by key trends. Sophisticated technologies for studying the brain and mind are becoming more available. Neuroimaging techniques like fMRI and EEG provide insights into consciousness and perception. Advances in quantum physics and information theory open new avenues of inquiry. Interdisciplinary collaboration is key to tackling complex questions about consciousness. Scientists from neuroscience, physics, psychology, and computer science are working together. This approach offers hope to unlock the secrets of the human mind and psychic phenomena. A legacy of unanswered questions. Project Stargate, despite its controversies, left an indelible mark on the world. Its goal of proving psychic phenomena remained elusive, sparking debate and fascination. Declassified documents offered a glimpse into a world exploring human consciousness. The program's enduring legacy may be the questions it raised. Can the human mind perceive events happening miles away? Could we harness thought to influence the physical world? These questions were seriously considered by scientists and intelligence officials. Stargate's legacy is a testament to human curiosity. Even in the Cold War, a flicker of wonder persisted. The pursuit of unknown territories may be its own reward. The quest for knowledge is fraught with ambiguity. The enduring allure of the unknown. Despite skepticism, fascination with psychic phenomena persists. The idea of hidden abilities captivates our imagination. The allure of the unknown fuels interest in Project Stargate. Stories of psychic phenomena are woven into our myths and folklore. From ancient oracles to modern psychics, extraordinary abilities captivate us. Whether real or illusions, the desire for something beyond the mundane remains. Fascination with psychic phenomena speaks to our desire for connection. The idea of interconnected minds taps into our longing for transcendence. In an age of rapid technological advancement, the mysteries of the mind hold allure. The unseen world remains a potent source of wonder. As we delve deeper, we may uncover truths that challenge our understanding. Beyond the horizon of possibility. Project Stargate's legacy extends beyond government research. Its declassified documents and public fascination have inspired countless books and documentaries. Psychic abilities are now a staple of popular entertainment. The legacy of Project Stargate inspires scientific inquiry into consciousness. Advances in neuroscience and quantum physics challenge our assumptions about reality.